Hello everyone, this is Adit back again with another video. So in the last video in this design pattern series, we have discussed about the module design pattern. And if you haven't watched that video already, then I will put the link in the description below. Please go through that video as well. We have discussed about the it is kind of an important design pattern. You use it day to day and you will get more understanding in that video. And in this video, we are going to move forward and we are going to learn about Singleton design pattern. And we will also look into how to implement this and what are the use cases where. So before we start, if you haven't subscribed the channel already, then please do consider subscribing the channel. It helps us to grow. It helps our channel to grow. We usually discuss about web development and JavaScript, React Native, and these kind of stuff. So yeah, mm, please do consider subscribing. Now let's get started. So basically, what exactly is a singleton design pattern and why we use it, right? So singleton design patterns, it helps you to have a single instance of a class in throughout your applications. Okay, so let me show you an example, and from there you will have to get more understanding about what exactly and how easy it is to implement. So let's see here. Okay, we can have a index.js, and over here we are just going to create a counter class. This is just a simple example to make us understand what exactly is a singleton pattern and how we are going to implement it in JavaScript. Okay, so in JavaScript, basically you can there are several ways you can implement singleton pattern using the classes, in ES 2015. You can use either classes, or you can also use object to create a singleton. But first we will see how to implement this in using the classes, and then we will go to the objects as well. So let's get started now. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable called instance. Okay, and then we're just going to have a class counter, and we are also going to have a constructor inside it. So first thing what we're going to do is if instance is already there, then we are just going to throw an error. In case instance is undefined, then we're just going to have an instance is equal to this. Okay, so now we can also have some of the function some methods inside this counter so that we can visualize and see. Okay, so over here we are just going to have a count, and which is going to have initially it is going to be a 0. And now what we can do is we can have a method called get count. This is going to return this dot count, and we are also going to have an increase count, return plus this count, and let's have one that is going to decrease count, return minus this dot count. So here we have created a counter class. Now we are going to initialize this counter class, right? To initialize, what we're going to do is we are going to have a counter and a new counter, and we are going to initialize it over here so that we don't so wherever we are going to use it, we are just going to use this variable, this counter, and then we're going to use any of the methods over there. So we don't need to use new counter. This is how we initialize a class, right? And we're just going to export it. Counter. Okay, so this is all you need to do. Apart from this you can also have an object.freeze so that we are not able to modify it but we will look into that later. That's not a big deal. And what we're going to do is let's have a file called script.js where we're going to use this singleton pattern, uh, singleton class that we have just created. And to like we are going to use import counter from, okay, and counter dot get count. We're just going to log this, and if we're just going to run this script, just node js. Okay, so this is not working as of now because we haven't tried to model this code. So to do that, what we can do is like we can have we can initialize a package.json over here. So what we can do is init -1, and we are having this package.json over here, and inside this we can have a type called module, because we are using this module structure because ES6 syntax, and this is kind of a module, like we are exporting from one file and importing in other file. We have already discussed about this module pattern, and I will put the link in this description. You can just go through that video as well. So now what we can do is like we can just have a type called module, and now the every function is going to restrict with that module as well, because I have just used that kind of code, like I've just imported it over here and just try to implement it. So that's fine. And we can also have command over here, like we can just start, and we can have node script.js. Okay, so that way we don't need to do node script.js. We can just use over here npm run start, and here you can see we are having this 0. Okay, and if we just try to counter dot increase count several times, okay, so and now we can also just and we can just run. So here you have to see like we have increased the value from 0 to 4. Okay, so and if we just if we do something similar here, and we just use some other file and run this code, you can do it on your own. So this is how you can implement the singleton design pattern, and the this is how you can implement it using class. There are other methods as well where you can use singleton create singleton using the some other pattern, like using objects. So to do that, we can have object. So using object, what you can do is let counter to 0 and const like I'm using all those all same functions over here as well. It's not with semicolon, but just comma. Okay, and similarly we can just export it over from here. We can use this const counter, and we can have object dot freeze, and that way we can just to counter object, and we can also just export default single counter. Okay, And similarly, the way we have used over here, we can use this single contour as well. That will work completely fine. You can just try it. Okay, so this is how you can create it using the object. So there are some pros and cons of the singleton pattern as well. Like singleton pattern helps you to like since we are creating the only one instance, it helps you to save space. Like lots of it can save lots of memory, and there are some cons as well. Like it's hard to like test these classes, and like and there one more thing, like in JavaScript after 2015, like modules are all by default is singleton. Like you don't really need to create singleton if you're just following ES 6 to 2015. So, and there are some other pros and cons as well, so you can just go through, like you can just read in the description. I will put that as well. So this is how you can create the singleton pattern in the JavaScript, and this is how you can initialize it and run it. Basically, all you need to do is like you are just having a class and initialize at a single place, and then use it throughout your application. So that's how you do it. So this is it for this video, and if you like the video, consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.